Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Betrayal at Krondor. In our last episode, we were hot on the trail of some stolen rubies that were taken from the entourage of the Great One Makala by some Grey Warriors. Now we'll get back to that in just a moment. One brief thing I wanted to mention. In the preferences, I went ahead and I turned off the CD music, restoring the original MIDI music that came with the original version of the game. The reason I did that is this music, when it's unchecked, will now loop forever. The CD music, as great as it is, tends to end. It's just performed music that then has an ending. And it's a little frustrating to me when we're in combat, the music starts up, and then halfway through the combat, the music just kind of fades out and ends. Or we're in the middle of a town reading descriptions, and the music cuts out because it's over. I'd rather have the music loop, even though it's that slightly, quote, lower quality MIDI music. But let me know what you think in the comments. If you prefer the CD music, maybe I'll switch it back. We'll see how people feel about it. Anyway, never mind all that. Let's get back to the quest. We were heading for the town of L'Oreal, where we were told we might get more information about that ruby. We came south from Lemute. We were heading along this road here, and there's L'Oreal. We're almost there. Looks like the road splits here, heads north, so we're going to look for a fork in the road. Let's continue on our quest. Let's activate Stick to the Road. I want to go over everybody's stats real quick here. Gorath is focusing on weapon craft to the exclusion of other skills. I'd like to take that off real quick. Everybody else is fine. I'm going to take off Locklear's skills here. I want everybody to be learning things as we go. I want to make sure everybody's weapons are in good condition. Everybody's inventory is pretty darn full, so that's going to be a challenge if we run into some enemies and get more loot. We'll have to decide what we are and are not going to take with us. Alright, there's where the road splits. Let's head north. Keep our eyes open for any potential ambushes. And there's something at the base of that hill there. Let's get a little closer and see what it is. Locklear smiled. Although the approaching man seemed half a hand shorter for the passage of 11 years, his halting stride was still as personal to him as his signature. Ages past, Isaac had suffered his limp proudly, worn it like an injury sustained on a field of battle, and for that he had gained the respect and admiration of Krondor's young squires, Locklear among them. His tragic expulsion from Arutha's court had been a blow to them all. The years have worn you well, old squire. Despite the fact it seems to have darkened your hair a bit. What did you do? Stick your head in a barrel of pitch? Scoundrel. I would have thought you strung up for impersonating a duke by now. How are you, Isaac? It's been since Arutha's wedding, hasn't it? The very day. You should have heard the fit Master of Ceremonies de Lacy threw when he found out I wasn't the Count of Dorgan's son. I dare say he would have tossed me over the palace walls himself if he hadn't been busy with the details of the blessed event. I've kept busy since then. Spent the last few years on the road, doing odd jobs around the border. You'd be surprised at all the things I've learned and seen since I left Krondor. Surprise me then. You always were a rumor monger. Well, what would you like to know about? Let's ask him about safe passage. I've just returned from a military assignment, and it's imperative that I get south as soon as and as inconspicuously as possible. Are there any places you think we should avoid? At all costs, you'll want to avoid the road from Egli to Tanniers. There's a festival to be held in Egli, and it's likely your elven companion will be spotted right away. What makes you think we're off to Krondor? Elves don't come out much of Elvendar, and they're even less likely to travel in the company of a boy and a seigneur when they do take to voyaging. Whatever you three are about, I assumed it must involve the good of the kingdom. Krondor would be the only logical place for you to go. We could ask him about mind readers. These roads seem littered with those anxious to anticipate our movements. Do you know of anyone in the area that seems to have unusual skills? Someone who seems like they know your thoughts? No. For a fact, I can't say that I have, but a certain poker player that I lost a great deal of money to in Egli comes to mind. Name of Devon, I believe. It took me quite a while to make up the funds I lost during a single night playing against him. He very nearly took every sovereign I'd made in a month's time. Alright, well that's all we have to ask him. As much as I'd like to stand about gossiping, I suppose we three need to hie back to the road before Prince Arutha sends out a search party for us. The prince is expecting you then. Please send His Highness my regards. I shall. Take care of yourself, Isaac. Alright, well that's Locklear's old friend Isaac. Let's see what this is here on the side of the road. Looks like something's been buried. Something had been buried under the dirt. The hole's not big enough to put a man in, so it's safe to assume it isn't a grave, Locklear said. Might be a secret cache of food or supplies. Let's take a look. Ah, some money. And some more aventurine. I believe Gorath could hold more of that. And then I believe that's it. We're full up. There isn't enough room. Unfortunately, we can't carry anything else. I believe what we're carrying is worth more than that, so we'll have to leave that behind, unfortunately. That's one of the challenges of Betrayal at Krondor, unfortunately, is inventory management. You need to keep an eye on your inventory, sell off what you can when you can, and decide what you are and are not going to take with you. Because, as it is, we're too full to bring anything else with us. Alright, let's continue north, keeping our eyes out for any potential enemies or ambushes. Gorath stopped and bent down to examine something on the ground. After several seconds, he stood and began to speak. There are wagon tracks on the ground here. Something's not right. They look fairly old, but the marks are too thin. Ordinary wagon wheels are about, say, 6 inches. These couldn't be wider than 3. There could be an ambush ahead. If we proceed in the direction we're currently heading, we should do so with great caution. So, basically, I believe this is related to the scouting skill. Your party can detect in advance, like rolling an insight check, perception check in D&D, can sometimes tell in advance that an enemy is waiting for them. And if we can increase that skill, well, that only helps with that. So there's an ambush nearby. So I don't know if there's anything we can click on to prepare for the ambush other than just go into it. It's just warning us that this is the way. If we want to maybe avoid it, we could maybe go through the trees there. But let's go ahead and see if we can fight this fight. A pebble tumbled down the cliff face. Puzzled by the seemingly random event, Owen glanced upwards, then back down at the ground. On closer examination, he realized the pebble was in fact a very dull brass button. Before he could cry out, ambushers fell from above. Luckily, it's only one ambusher. This shouldn't be too hard. In fact, let's go ahead and send Owen right into the fray. Get him, Owen. Locklear will join in, as will Gorath. 3-on-1, this battle will be over very quickly. And the enemy is down. Victory for our party. Let's see what he's carrying. Well, some rations. Let's go ahead and give as much as we can to everybody. We can't actually fit any more. That's really unfortunate. And the body, unfortunately, because I haven't taken anything off the body, it's not going to let me... Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Good. I want to take the better sword with us, because better quality, in terms of wear and tear on a weapon, will mean better... I'm sorry, what's the word for it? We'll get a better price for those items. So like I said, we want to go ahead and try to use this whetstone on items like that. So, for example, I can give the whetstone to Gorath now and let him use it on some of these items. How many uses? 2 uses left. Let's use one more on this. Okay, everything he's got is good. And we'll let Locklear get the last 2 uses out of it. There we go. Now we have a little bit more room in our packs. And we'll leave these behind. They're fairly low quality. We didn't get any increase in skills for that, but that's alright. Let's continue onwards. Now the road branches off here. Ah, enemies ahead. Perhaps we can ambush them. They agreed to attack. Going after over the plan as quickly as possible, Locklear laid out a simple strategy. We're set then, he said. Let's just hope our advance is undetected, or our advantage will be lost. Let's head directly into the battle. The enemy was waiting for them. They've seen us, Locklear shouted. He shifted his concentration to 2 places. His legs, making certain of his stance and balance, and his opponents, wondering how it was they had not been surprised. Immediately all such thoughts were pushed aside as the enemy swept into their ranks. Ooh, 3 enemies. This is going to be hard. One of them's coming after Owen directly. So what I need to do is, this is something I need to explain to you that I haven't had a chance to tell you about before. Your total health is based on your health and your stamina together. You can lose stamina, and that's fine. It doesn't affect anything. But once your stamina hits 0 and you begin losing hit points, actual health points, your stats begin to suffer. Right now, I still have a 53% chance to hit, but that's going to go down the more damage I take. I need to get Owen out of here. In fact, I'm going to put him right here and bring Locklear in to fight this guy. Try to get his attention off of Owen, and same thing with Gorath. Locklear took a hit for that, but that's okay. We're going to keep fighting this guy. I meant to do that with Locklear, I'm sorry. We need Owen free because he's already been hit. Locklear's taking some damage, though. Let's get Owen free. Notice Locklear is still alright, but now that he's down to 0 stamina, his stats will begin to suffer as well. And every time Owen begins a turn with enemies next to him, he can't cast. So we need to get clear. I need to keep these people off of Owen's back. Okay, he's fleeing. Owen's now free to do what he wants to do. So I'm going to step over here, and next turn I can heal some of my friends. That's one of the reasons why it's sometimes advantageous to team up on an enemy and ignore one of the other ones. Because if you can get that enemy's stats down fast enough, well, his ability to fight will become better. Alright, Owen's going to go ahead and cast Despair Thy Eyes on this other enemy to make it less likely he's going to do damage to Locklear. While we concentrate on this other enemy. Then Owen's going to go in and help out. And that enemy's down. Now we can finish the battle against this final one. Now, like I said, the issue with it, your health being what determines your stats. Notice, Locklear's ability, his thrust percentage hit has gone down to 48% because he's taken damage. The worse off you are, the more wounded you are, the worse you do in battle. And a battle can quickly turn against you. If you let yourself get hit too many times. You really need to be careful about that. Also, things like the swing attack often use stamina. There's a stamina cost, so you sacrifice some of that stamina and potentially, again, put yourself at risk by using a riskier attack. Oh, wow, Locklear is really getting hurt here. Now, one thing he can do is on his turn, he can go in his inventory and use a restorative. That might give him a little bit of a benefit. He's continuing to try to hit Locklear, but now he's finally down. We're going to want to heal Locklear if we can. Let's take a look for a moment and see what our abilities look like. Locklear's melee percentage went up, but notice it's only 29% right now because he's so wounded. Not wounded, but his hit points are so low. That's not his best melee once he's fully healed. I'm sorry if the way I'm explaining this, it sounds a little awkward. Gorath's strength went up to 26, so that's very good. That helps with his ability to deal damage. But yeah, like I said, if Locklear's health was at 55, his melee ability would be much higher. But this actually reflects the fact that he is not doing very well right now. And I guess that's distracting in combat. You can't fight when you're hurting. All right, let's take this money. A 70% sword. Let's see if we have one that's worse. We can get rid of that 65% one. Exchange for that. And a 66% armor. We'll get rid of the 53% one and take the 66 instead. Like I said, the higher percentage... I think that was the wrong person. Higher percentage, the better off the equipment is, the better price we'll get for it. Also, higher percentage armor defends you better in combat. The more you get hit, the worse your armor is, and then the worse protection it is. Let's give this one to Gorath because it's slightly higher percentage. And I would like to do this. There we go. Locklear has a better sword now. This other guy has some rations. Let's see if we can share those amongst the party. I think everybody's pretty full. There we go. Very good. And some pretty crappy armor, so. All right. A successful battle, but we need to rest and heal up a little bit. As you can look, everybody's kind of in the red. Let's camp until healed. It's going to be a couple days. And let's then camp till the morning. And we use up some rations in the process, but now the party's in much better shape. And we'll do better in combat. That's something that you have to remember in this game. If you don't keep your party healed and keep their hit points high, they're just going to do worse and worse in each subsequent battle. And then they're going to get hit worse. And then they're going to do worse the next time and get hurt worse again. It's a self-perpetuating cycle. You need to keep an eye on your stamina and your health. All right, there's a little road heading off to the left. Let's see where that goes. Gora stopped and bent down to examine something on the ground. After several seconds, he stood and began to speak. The same warning he gave us as before. There's an ambush just ahead of us. Let's avoid it by going this way. We'll go around it. We weren't able to get around it. We're in the battle, but it's just one enemy. Who missed us? Well, we have a solution to that. Owen, blind this guy. We'll start bringing Gorath in. And even Owen will join in this time. Between the three of us, this should be a very quick battle. Let's see what this enemy was holding. Owen's accuracy melee has increased. That's wonderful. Some more money and some more bolts. Let's see if we have room for that. We do. Now here's some more elven armor. Not as good as what Gorath's currently carrying. And another sword at 50%. Not as good as any of our other swords. Let's just leave that behind. Let's see what's along this path. A house. Now, I'm not going to go in that house, and there's a reason for that, and I will explain that a little bit later to you. Let's get back to the road and continue on our way to L'Oreal. We should be getting pretty close, I believe. Let's take a look at our map. Yep, we're almost to the town. Enemies. Let's see if we can get the drop on them. Nope. Once again, the enemy was waiting for us. And again, that has a lot to do with our own abilities and our own stats. I'm going to move Owen over here and then Locklear here to see if maybe this guy will stop focusing on Owen. And again, I'm going to double team him with Gorath, because the faster we can get this one enemy out, the better. Owen is fine. I'm going to move him over to the side here, and hopefully he'll be ignored. Meanwhile, we're going to focus on this enemy, for the two of us. Ooh, he got a hit off on us. But, luckily, Owen is now free. So, let's cast a Spare Thy Eyes on this enemy to keep him from harassing Locklear, while Locklear is busy on this other guy. Ooh, and Owen left himself open and took a hit. He's still okay. He still has stamina. So does Locklear. We're all still in good shape. Owen's going to keep moving across the field, trying to stay out of the reach of that enemy, who doesn't have a very good speed. Alright, once again, I'm going to cast to Spare Thy Eyes. I probably should do it on the guy that is being hit by my friends right now, because he keeps defending himself. Owen is getting hurt. Notice he can't walk as far. His stats are beginning to decrease. He only has 11 health left, just like I told you about. Not much we can do except keep fighting. Just do our best. Owen is down. He's been hit. Well, at least there's only 2 enemies left. The second enemy is down. Between the 2 of us, we should be able to finish this battle now. And we have victory, but Owen was seriously injured. A gasp escaped Owen's lips as he levered himself into an upright position and looked over his wounds. I think I'll amend the plan, Owen said. My wounds are mortal. You go on without me. No one gets left behind, Locklear shot back angrily. No one! Get your things and we move. We'll find a healer for you along the way who can help. Alright, so, party's abilities have increased. Let's take a look at that for just a moment. Locklear has better defense. Owen's defense and melee abilities went up, but he is now near death. And Gorath's melee abilities went up. Let's quickly search these bodies and then we'll head into the town. Spoiled rations, we want nothing to do with that. Okay. A whetstone. And more spoiled rations. But a fairly good sword. Let's see if anybody has any room here. We need to get rid of these items. Maybe we can search these bodies later after we look at the town. Let's head a little further north to the town, which is right there. I can see one of the buildings from it. And we can maybe find some help for Owen. Here's a tavern. So I'm going to teach you how to deal with the near-death status. This is a very, like I said before, you want your party to stay healed. You want to keep your stats up. If you do get to a near-death status, 0 hit points, it's hard to come back from that. It takes a lot to come back. You can't just rest at a campfire like normal to bring back your health. Like, watch, I'm going to go, if I heal to the morning, I'm not going to show you that, but if I healed in the morning, Locklear and Gorath would both heal. Owen would not. We're going to have to wait till nightfall for the inn to open. One thing we can do is use this, a herbal pack. It doesn't actually heal anything, but it helps increase the healing rate. By doing that, Owen now is also healing. So let's go ahead and rest really quickly, just for until nightfall. I'm not sure what time they open. Let's go to here maybe. I guess we'll go to the morning. Oh, they're open from midday to midnight, it said. That's strange because they're not interested in doing business. Just when we could have used a tavern to rest at. Because what I was trying to explain is, while you can't heal up at a campfire from a near-death status, you can heal at a tavern. Alright, well while we're here, let's go ahead and sell off all of this extra weapons and armor we've gotten. Owen is just going to have to do his best for now. We're going to keep the best sword for ourselves. And we'll sell off everything else. Let's make sure that's not better than any of the swords Locklear already has. While it's unfortunate that Owen is in such bad shape, it is a good opportunity to show you what happens when you are near death. It's something you have to deal with in this game, unfortunately. 87%, not quite as good as what Locklear already has. And I believe the shopkeeper has no interest in elven blades. No, he doesn't care about that. So we'll hang on to those for now. Let's give this extra ration to Owen. Okay. And is there anything we can buy? We could buy an armorer's hammer. I want to check my stats for just a moment. Let's try to sell it up, have Locklear buy it. We have the ability to haggle. Now, we may not be successful. Although it was immediately obvious the shopkeeper had no desire to haggle on the price, Locklear pressed on, praying that his natural charm would win him a cheaper price. For a short time, it seemed that the victim's will was eroding, but alas, the shopkeeper rapped sharply on the counter. Enough, the shopkeeper said. Buy at my price or be off with you. Alright, so we can't get a cheaper price. Sometimes you can make the merchants so mad they won't sell it to you at all. They're basically like, no, get out of my shop. We're going to go ahead and buy one of these. We'll buy an armorer's hammer because that lets us repair our armor and regain some of our armor ability. Our armor repairing ability. Same thing with the whetstone. Let's buy one more whetstone and use that. Those are good skills to have. This book here, it's a little more expensive than I'd like to buy. Strategies of Trading. If I were to buy that and use it, it could probably help me increase my haggling ability beyond what it is. Which is right now only 37%. Alright, let's get out of this place. Let's see if there's any healing items that this guy has. He has more herbal packs. Those are actually really good to have. Buy another one of those. Alright. One of the other things I could do with Locklear is I can give him this restorative. And now he has 3 and 4. It does very little for you when you're so low and near death. But as we use it, our near-death status goes down and our ability to heal goes up. At least Owen's out of immediate danger. Let's look around the rest of this town, and then we'll see what else we can do here. A thin little man greeted them at the door. I am Kiefer Ales cook. Have you come to buy or sell some gems? He questioned in a frail voice. If you remember, this is the man we were coming here to meet. Locklear moved closer to the door. We're looking for a ruby that may have been stolen by a group of Grey Warriors. Have you purchased any gemstones from such men? I don't know what you're talking about, the man said quickly. I don't buy stolen merchandise. You might try talking to a fellow I ran to north of Hawk's Hollow about it. Name's Isaac, if I recall. The man looked about nervously. I'm not open for business right now. You'll have to come back later. Before Locklear could say another word, Kiefer had closed the door. Well, we do know someone named Isaac, don't we? We might have to go back down south and talk to him. We were just in here, sorry. I forgot that we already clicked on this building. Alright, 2 buildings left, it looks like, or 3. What's this one? The house's occupant was talkative. Careful not to divulge any details about their trip, Locklear steered the conversation towards the townspeople. Everyone here is fine folks, all except for Michelle the healer. I hope you're not planning on to visit her. Why, Locklear asked. She's a snake, he said. Told me I was going to die. But you know what? I got better. Oh, I felt horrible enough for 3 or 4 days, and thought I was going to die. But no, I made it through alive. I tell you, I think she and Orno the Pale have some kind of deal. He's giving them some kind of contagion, and then she's administering some kind of phony medicine. It's indecent. Well, that's interesting. Locklear knocked on the door. For a long moment, he leaned against the door frame as he waited, positioning himself so he could listen for the sounds of any stirrings inside. When at last it was evident no one was coming, he stepped back with a shrug. Doesn't seem that anyone's about, Locklear said. And in this final house, same thing, no one's home. And that's the town of L'Oreal. Well, let's head back south. What I can tell you right now is this house is this house right here on the corner is Michelle the Healer's house. She only opens it up if your characters have a sickness, a plague. She can heal you if you have the plague status. That's a status where your characters are sick, and over time they will lose hit points. It's like being poisoned. Not something you want to have going on with you. While we're here, let's go ahead and grab these extra weapons and armor. We could sell them really quickly back at L'Oreal. Spoiled rations, not for me, sir. It's hard that the bodies are so, like, right up against each other. Some more money. And that third, if I go on the other side, I might be able to get that third body. There we go. And those rations have also spoiled. Okay, let's head back to the town really quick and quickly sell off those goods. The more money we have, the better off we are, especially when we have a companion in need of healing. Okay, this is going pretty well for us. Alright, very good. So night's falling. Let's go ahead and rest. Till the morning. Owen is actually gaining hit points now because we got him out of being 100% near death. And we also activated the healing status on him by giving him that oilcloth. We'll do the same thing again next time we rest. We'll make sure we use one of those herbal packs. Now the reason I didn't click on remember that little house I didn't click on before? The reason I didn't is if you click on this house, you will get plagued. In fact, let's save our game really quickly. I'd like to demonstrate this to you. A piece of paper dangled from the doorknob. At all costs, travelers should avoid contact with Orno, known widely as Orno the Pale, Owen read aloud. A contagion of unknown proportions has already led to the illness of 3 people. Avoid any contact with... The door swung open. Him. Owen straightened himself as a haggard-looking man in his mid-20s appeared in the doorway, his face covered with a bloody handkerchief. You are Orno? Yes, he wheezed through his handkerchief. And you're on my doorstep. Get away before you get yourselves infected. What's wrong with you? The man shook his head. Don't know. Doctors don't know. Priests don't know. Nobody knows. Only persons that survived is Michelle the Healer, but she's a ways off in L'Oreal. I see, Locklear said. We'll be off now. Sorry to have bothered you. Again, the man nodded. Is sure you will be. Is sure of it. I sure you will be. I sure of it. No one wished to speak about it. Seeing the glazed looks in each other's eyes and sickly pallor each had begun to exhibit, it was more than obvious that he had fallen prey to a virulent plague. Silently, Locklear hoped they could reach a temple soon before they all died of it. If you look at their stats, plagued. That's not good, and that will only increase and get worse, and then your hit points begin going down, and you die. Now, back at the town of L'Oreal, you can be healed by Michelle the Healer, but let's not bother with that. Luckily, through the magic of saving and restoring, we can avoid all that and not click on that house. Let's go back the way we came. Get back to the road. Now, I'd like to avoid any potential other encounters by just following the same path I followed the first time. Because Owen's in no shape to fight on our behalf. He's in no shape to cast, and I don't want him to go to near death again by getting killed. I think we can see if this body has anything more. Yep. We'll take this weapons and armor that we were not able to take last time. I guess neither of them has anything else. Alright, let's continue on our way. Night's beginning to fall again. There's that one who tried to ambush us previously. And part of the reason I'm taking all this is I'm going to go ahead and use my whetstones and armorer's hammers on them to increase our skills. But first, let's find Isaac, who should be right around here. Locklear caught sight of Isaac. Whistling to his old associate, the seigneur motioned for him to join their company. I thought you were off to meet with Prince Arutha. So did I, but we've been muddling about here, taking care of a few other errands. It's just luck we happened on you again. I shall consider it good fortune then. So, what can I do for you? Let's ask him about the stolen gems. Did you by any chance purchase a ruby from Kiefer Ailscook in L'Oreal? He told us he sold it to someone named Isaac, and the description he gave us sounded like you. Why? Why you want to buy it from me? It's not like it's the only ruby in the world, you know. The ruby he sold you was stolen from a surrounding magician who was passing through Lemute. The garrison would like the stone back. We were hoping we could talk you into at least returning it to Kiefer to get your money back. I'm sorry to hear about your dilemma, but I had no idea the stone was stolen when I paid Kiefer's price. And I have my own little problem. I need the stone so I can pay off a sword crafter and get my blade repaired. Can't you pay him with gold? He specifically barters in gems, and the ruby will cover my costs plus a little more. I should have enough left over to eat for a month or more. What if we can repair your sword for you? What? Here, in the middle of the road? Since I don't have a workshop, I don't see that we can do it anywhere else. Well, I suppose. My blade is fairly expensive, and I'd hate to see it further damaged. It's conceivable you could do more harm than good, so unless you're really skilled at weapon craft, well, do you really think you're that good? Sure. Yes, of course I am. Good enough. Your blade? Please be careful, I paid quite a bit for it. Well, I have to say this, you appear to know what you're doing. It looks much better than it did. And it will hold the edge. You could cut up the whole of Delican's Moss Rangers and it'd still be sharp for a month after. Well, looks as if you've come through on your end of the bargain. Remind me to give you the ruby before you leave. So now we can talk to him about weapon repair. So where is this miracle-working weaponsmith you were talking about? It might be worthwhile to go and have our own weapons repaired. There's a shop in High Castle called the Battle Works. It's a long way to go, but their work is impressive. So if we ever go to High Castle, we can get our weapons repaired. Apparently he deals in gems. As much as I would like to say it about gossiping, I suppose we three need to hire back to the road before Prince Arutha sends out a search party for us. I wouldn't dream of impeding your progress then, but just watch yourself, Senor. There are dangerous fellows abroad. We shall keep an eye out for them then. Goodbye, Isaac. Alright, did he give us the ruby? There it is, the ruby. We'll head back to Lemute and trade that in. And while we're in Lemute, we should be able to get rid of these extra swords and armor. While we're here, let's go ahead and use our whetstone. Good work. We'll have Gorath use it as well. On some of these other swords that we collected. The better we get at this, the better we are maintaining our own stuff. You know, that's really advantageous over time. That brought that all the way up to 70. Let's have Locklear have a go at that. Awesome. I wonder if Owen can do any good with that. Not much. But, you know, every little bit helps. Alright, let's head back towards Lemute. You know what? We can go back into this little hole in the ground and collect that shell that was there. Alright, we've got a little bit of a ways to go, but theoretically all the enemies that we've killed, I don't believe they respawn. We should be safe enough if we follow the same path we took the first time. We'll just have to make sure we don't get fatigued, that we sleep at night. Let's make sure this guy doesn't have anything on him. Some more armor we can take. Looting the dead for our own fun and profit. Alright, night's starting to fall. Let's rest again. I forgot to give Owen his healing pouch. Oh, that's alright. At least he's not as near death as he was. He's only 65%. He's not in imminent danger. Let's take a look at our map really quickly. We're almost back to the main road. And we're just going to make a straight shot up to Lemute. There's the temple. We could go there and heal. But I think we'll be okay if we stop at the inn. I'm going to actually stay at the inn in Lemute. I believe we were looting the bodies completely from this part before this part because we weren't full in our inventory yet. So we don't need to stop and search any of the other bodies along the way. We'll just go past all these little towns that we met along the way. Night's falling again. Now as night's falling, I'm going to go ahead and use this healing pack. That'll give Owen better chance to heal while we rest. Now, of course, like I said, if you rest at an inn, you're going to do much better than anywhere else. I didn't notice this chest the first time down. There's a locked chest. Well, let's go ahead and cast. I believe it's Scent of Sarig. It looks like it is safe. We should be able to open it and it's not trapped. Locklear's going to try to lockpick it. And it worked. Nothing inside it. Well, what a waste of time. But not really. Locklear's lockpicking ability has increased. He's up to 33%. Alright, we should be coming up to Lemute fairly soon. In fact, I believe that's the town. That could be the town or it could be the mine, actually. Nope, that's the town. We made it back successfully. Let's go talk to the garrison. Captain Belford greeted them with a smile. What brings you back here? He asked cordially. Locklear drew out the ruby they had discovered. Holding it out for Bedford to see the gemstone caught it. Holding it out for Bedford to see, the gemstone caught a shaft of sunlight, splashing the walls with thousands of twinkling red spots. Are you returning Makala's ruby? Asked Belford. Yes, we are. Locklear handed the ruby to Captain Belford. I'm glad you found this, he said, placing the gemstone into a small velvet-lined box. It'll be good to get Makala off my back. I've sent so many men out looking for this blasted thing, there's hardly anyone left in the garrison. He retrieved a pouch from a locked chest in the corner of the room. Here you are, 100 gold sovereigns. Thank you, gents. Locklear put the pouch in his pack, and they left. Fantastic, we have 100 more sovereigns, that's amazing. Alright, let's head for the shop real fast. We can sell off this additional weapons and armor that we have. Increase our money by even more. $76, that's not as good. Good. Switch that for that. I don't believe they'll buy the Mortal Lampreys here. Nope, then that's fine. We'll go ahead and use that on our crossbow strings to get it out of our hair and have less inventory taken up. Let's see if there's anything worth buying really quickly. I don't believe there's anything we need here. Nope. Alright, let's head for the inn. While we're here, let's try barding and see what happens. Nope. We did terribly. We've been ejected. Alright. Let's go ahead and stay at the inn. So what we can do, now that we're staying at the inn, we can, Owen can actually heal properly. So what we're going to do is, before we do that, I'm sorry, let's exit out of here for just a moment. I'm going to go, I just want to go to the shop so I can actually get access to my inventory. Alright, he's still healing. That's what I wanted to see. Let's heal for the night. I'm going to do it for about 3 nights or so. And then I want to go ahead and take a look at Locklear's, at Owen's stats. He's only 35% near death. Let's use our healing thing one more time. And we'll stay for 2 more nights. Like I said, this is a lot to deal with, but that's what happens when you're near death in this game. It's a pretty serious condition. We're burning through money and our rations. We'll stay 1 more night, and that'll get rid of all of our rations. Alright. We're out of food, so let's head back to the shop one last time. We need to buy ourselves some more food. Oh, sorry, we do that at the end. My mistake. Sorry. Okay. So let's go ahead and buy 14 rations for, let's see if we can haggle it. You mean you'll pay that much? The tavern keeper gushed. Why, that'll be fine. I'm taking quite a loss, of course. It's good for business. Nice, we dropped the price to 8. And we'll Do that for everybody. Fill everybody up with rations. Alright, everybody's got a nice full thing of rations. Everybody should be very full health except for Owen. We're just going to have to be careful on Owen. He's still slightly near death. That's the problem. We need to get out of that near-death condition so he can heal properly. I'll stay one more night to just get him fully out of near-death. There. Now, that's what I wanted to show you. Let's stay for one more night. Now, instead of his health just going up by little fits and spurts, it'll start really going up. Watch. Watch this. There. Owen's out of danger. There we go. So, that was a lot to deal with. That's a pretty expensive in terms of items. You burn through your rations, you burn through some of your money, but that's what has to happen when you get to the near-death condition. It's very serious, and you want to avoid it at all costs in this game. You do not want to have any of your characters go to 0 hit points if you can at all help it. Gorath's ability is increased, so let's take a look at that. Oh, his weapons craft has gone up to 69%, and a little bit of barding up to 5%. We got a little budding musician on our hands. All right. Let's quickly head south again. We're just going to go as directly as we can till we get back to that crossroads. Sorry. Okay. We're almost there. All right, here's the crossroads where we went south to head towards L'Oreal. And past that temple and all of that. Further south, the road continues towards Krondor. If we stick to this road, we've got a long stretch with nothing really there. We'll pass through Quester's View, and then Sarth, and then Krondor. And honestly, I think that's probably our best bet. We could go back to where we came and go through some of this unfamiliar stuff, but like we were told by Isaac, this stretch of road here is probably not very safe for us. There's a festival going on. So let's stick to this southward road and head on this way, and we'll just make this straight, direct run as fast as we can to Krondor. And that's what we're going to do next time. In our next episode, we're continuing our journey southwards to Krondor. The quest continues. I'll see you then.